Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Google for Education overview video. We're going to talk to you about some of the things that Google offers for teachers, including Level 1, Level 2, and Certified Trainer, as well as Certified Innovator. I'm Don Hebra, and I'd like to kind of welcome you to this session. And with me, we also have
Al Pisano. Welcome, everyone.
Great. So we're going to walk you through a presentation that we've made. And we want you to kind of ask questions. If you're in the Hangout, you're watching us live, we have the Q&A enabled, so please feel free to ask questions as we go through, and we'll be sure to answer them as we go through this presentation. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And it should work. You guys see my screen?
I can see it.
Excellent. Great. So let's go to the next slide and we'll talk about it. Okay. So Al, you want to talk about the GEG Long Island community?
Sure. So GEG Long Island is a fast-growing community of educators in general, but heavy focus on Google, of course. We have 285 members. I just added someone just before this call. So it's a really nice community to learn, grow, share different best practices using Google tools, using educational technology in general. So it's a really nice resource. And if you want to be a part of the conversation, feel free to do a search on GEG Long Island and start sharing with us. This is just a quick screenshot of just really to get perspective on how many people, and this is really just about half, correct, Don, of the people that are in the group, to get a perspective of how powerful a Google Plus community can be, and how powerful a network of sharing and collaborating and talking to each other about things going on in your classroom, in your district, how powerful it could be with just one location can have so many different members sharing so many different ideas.
All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the different levels of certification that Google has. Obviously, a lot of us are teachers in the classroom, administrators, educators in some regard, and if you're here, you probably love Google or you use Google in some kind of context. So Google actually rewards teachers who use Google in the classroom. And they actually have certification levels. After you pass a series of tests and go through some modules, they give you a stamp of approval, a badge, that will basically say to other people that you are Google certified at a particular level. So there's the first two levels. There's the Educator Level 1, and that's for educators who've learned the fundamentals, the basics of Google Apps, or Google for Education now that it's called. And they also have an Educator Level 2, and that's more for advanced people, that beyond the basics, they use Google in a more advanced way, and use advanced technology integration skills. And then beyond that, we have some teachers who are not just teachers in the classroom. They're also technology coaches or educational technology specialists or technology integration specialists. Every district has a different name for it, but they're teachers who teach professional development to other teachers. And for that certification, Google has what they call the Google for Education Certified Trainer. So that's kind of almost like a level up. That's more where you're teaching PD. You're teaching teachers how to integrate Google. And then if that wasn't enough, Google also has the Google for Education Certified Innovator. And that's a group of individuals that are transferring education to Google across the world. And that one is actually, these first three are offered where you can just do it kind of online, remotely. This certified innovator is something you have to apply for Google for, and Google actually invites you to a specific city, and you actually sit through a face-to-face class, and they kind of certify you. But all four of these programs are offered by Google as training certifications, and we're going to talk a little bit more about each one of them as we go through. So the first one is this Google Certified Educator Level 1. And this is what they call the fundamentals of Google. So this is if you're pretty much brand new to Google, maybe you've dabbled a little bit with Google. It starts with the beginning of explaining kind of, search techniques and what Google's all about, and the basics of Google for Education and their platform. And then it works its way up and talks about the specific applications. So it'll start with, Gmail. It will start with Docs. It will start with Drive. It will go into Calendar. We'll go into Classroom. We'll go into Forms. We'll go into all the different facets of Google for education. And in doing so, you're not just learning the tools themselves, you're learning the pedagogy behind them, as well as some best practices that you can start to use in your classroom. And I think that's important. So not only are you just learning the tool, you're learning how to use it in your classroom. And I think that's really the importance. When they redid this program recently, they've tied that pedagogy behind it. Now, when you're all done with this program, there is a certification test that you can take. It's completely online. You give you 180 minutes to take the test of uninterrupted time. So you have 3 hours. You have to sit down there. You can take the test. In most cases, it will not take you the full 3 hours. And that's a $10 examination fee. And once you pass that, you'll be certified as a certified educator level 1 for Google. So just to show you what these modules will look like, when you go through these modules, you have the fundamentals module, that's the level 1, and then you have the level 2 module, that's the advanced training. And the modules kind of look like this. They're broken down in units, and those units are further broken down into lessons. So similar to how we have units in school, in our K-12 classrooms, we also have units and then lessons and things like that. And each lesson has different skills and objectives to it. So Google's kind of taken the whole idea of education, of K-12 education, and they've kind of broken it down, and they've took their content and broken it down by a similar structure. So let's take a look at some of this stuff at a lower level here. So here, each objective, each unit, each lesson actually explains what you'll learn. So it gives you kind of the student learning outcomes. The students will be able to, in this case, you're the student, and it explains what you learn and the products and the tools you'll be using. So in this particular one, we're going to be learning about Docs, Sheets, Classroom, Slides, Drive, Forms, and Drawings. Now, because this is the fundamentals one, you're just kind of hitting the surface on what each one is, and then you're just kind of brainstorming some ideas of what each one could be used in the classroom. Now, something on later on, and maybe the later modules in level 1, you'll be talking about each one specifically and what you can do in the classroom. And furthermore, in level 2, you'd be actually explaining more in depth how you'd use each one, maybe with a long-term project. So let's look at one of these in more detail. If we click on one of these, this is the different lessons we get. So for this one, we're talking about how to upload files in Drive using Classroom, Google Docs, share, create, and so forth. If we click to learn how, what we'll see is we'll see create, move, or delete a folder. This is a particular one. And you can see on the right here, if I go on the right here, you can see these different objectives within the lesson. So I can keep drill down as far as I need to. Now, as I go through the module, I'm learning about the tool. Now, if I already know the tool, I can kind of, go through these modules and kind of skip over the different components that I don't necessarily need to go and reinforce, but they're there if I need to. Now, going back to this, as we go through the module, Google's going to ask you certain questions. You're going to have the ability at certain points to kind of stop and jot down your ideas. So this is a good way to kind of recall what you've learned, reflect, the same type of process that we have with our students, right? So we're going to kind of write down our ideas, temporary notepad, jot down your ideas on paper. You just click in this box and you kind of, unofficially answer the questions. And that's going to hopefully, get you thinking about how you'd use this stuff in your classroom. And then at the end of every unit, just for, as we would do for students, there's some type of, assessment. So, and this is kind of an informal assessment. This is not the actual exam. This is just kind of a check for understanding guide. There's going to be questions that they'll ask you. So in this one, the learning objective is you get to students to understand the concept of projection when speaking, and then you can go forth and talk about the different tools that you use in this case. And then your questions, it tells you what you got right, what you got wrong, and you go from there. And then they also have, they show you some sample exam questions. And these are actually kind of similar to what they give you in the check for understanding. So it kind of gives you, it sets you up, it gives you the kind of practice you'll need in order to pass the exams. And like I said before, see how the pedagogy is tied to it? So it's not just talking about one of the great things about Google Docs. It's talking about how you're going to keep your students engaged in World War II. So what activities could you do? There's more than one answer. There's more than one way to do it using Google products. So in this case, you'd select more than one option. Okay, and level 2 is pretty much more of level 1, just kind of souped up to the next level. In that case, you pretty much go through an advanced level of those modules. And in this case, you do have another exam at the end to get certified. It's another 3-hour exam. In this case, the fee is a little bit higher. It's a $25 examination fee. And you'd be able to go ahead and take that test. And then you'd level up, so to speak, to level 2. So you'd be level 1 and level 2 certified educator. Okay, then you also have the certified trainer. Al, do you want to talk about the certified trainer?
No, you can go ahead, Don.
Okay, I'll go ahead. All right, great. So this is certified trainer is a little bit more involved than the level 1, level 2. The level 1, level 2 is more for someone who's just going to be an in-classroom teacher. Someone who's going to just be in the classroom, they're just working with their students in K-12 in some capacity. But the certified trainer is a little different. It's really designed for someone who's going to be delivering PD. Now, it doesn't mean it can't be a classroom teacher who wants to deliver PD on the side, but it's really structured as someone who's going to be delivering professional development to their teachers, turnkey training, push and support, one-on-one instruction. So this is, again, like it says, people who have a strong history in Google training, can design creative and informative learning materials, and they show enthusiasm. And what you'll get for getting the certification, you'll get recognition for your training expertise. They'll actually throw you in the Google for Education directory, which will allow other teachers, school districts, organizations to reach out to you in order to have you do professional development or training for them. You also get a community of shared resources. And I think, honestly, out of everything, this is probably the most valuable thing. You'll be in a pool of other people who are certified trainers who also create content, who do the same thing you do, and you'll be able to pool your resources and share with them and get best practices and handouts and resources and materials and whatever you need to deliver these trainings.
Yeah,
and of course,
Don, yeah. If I could jump in on that piece right there. You know, that part of it, as Don mentioned, you know, you could ask a question in kind of this internal forum once you do get certified, and your questions are answered immediately. There's a really, Google overall has a great community of educators involved, but once you get to the certified trainer level, you really get into the highest of expertise, you know, using Google products. And even if you know, whether you're planning on training other teachers or not, it really does give you a great global perspective on, you know, what it means to use Google in the classroom. Teaching other teachers really gives you an incredible perspective on that. So, you know, that's one of the things that Don and I are glad that we went through and got certified on.
Yeah, it's a really great community. So definitely want to be part of it. And then as far as the prerequisites, now this is important to note: the level 1 and level 2 certificates do not count towards this prerequisite. So in theory, you could actually get the certified trainer without completing level 1 and level 2. However, it is recommended that you have knowledge of level 1 and level 2 to continue getting your Google certified trainer. In order to get this Google certified trainer, you need to have the trainer essential certificate. And I'll show you on the next slide how you earn that. And in addition, you need to show experience in delivering training, Google for Education training in the past. So let's look at some of those certification requirements here. So as far as getting your trainer certificate, you need to pass 5 exams. So there's the 4 core exams: Gmail, Calendar, Sites, Docs, and Drive. And then you choose 1 elective in order to complete out your certification. So that could be Chrome, or Chromebooks, or Google Play, or Android tablets. And you get to choose which one you want to focus on for your elective. So you do the 4 core, the ones at the top, and 1 of the following ones on the bottom. And that allows you to customize it. Now, you can do more than the 1, but a minimum requirement of the 4 core and 1 elective. And in fact, if you do more electives, you do get extra recognition on your certificate that says what you are certified in, as well as when you are listed in the directory, it does say what other certifications you have beyond the core Trainer's Essential Certificate. So it would behoove you to do as many as you can. But like I said, you only have to do the core 4 plus 1 elective. All right. In addition, you need to have training experience. So you need to provide a training resume highlighting the work experience that you have, whether that's face-to-face training, whether that's hybrid training, whether that's speaking sessions. We've even had people do Google Hangouts on air like this, where they deliver PD, and that's going to be all something that you want to put in your training resume. It's similar to your normal resume, but it's focused on training, and you're going to highlight that more than you would normally in a regular resume or CV. Okay, you're also going to, for those trainings you've done, you're going to provide 3 references of people, their information, that you've delivered in the past year. And what happens is Google's actually going to send them a survey and contact them, and they'll get a little feedback survey that they have to fill out regarding their experience with you as a trainer.
And Don, with that training experience, I mentioned GEG Long Island at the beginning. We're always looking for people to do training sessions. If you're willing to kind of volunteer your time and you have an interesting topic and you're part of our community, you're more than welcome to host a Hangout on air session through GEG Long Island. That we'll post it and promote it and whatnot. As long as, like I said, you're willing to kind of volunteer your time, and you get good experience out of doing something like that, and you could add it to your training experience if you do want to go for the certified trainer. Yeah,
without a doubt. And the nice thing about doing it on air as well is there's a record of it. So, I mean, if you do it on air, it automatically, broadcasts live to YouTube, and then that's also on demand on YouTube. So, it's definitely something you can throw in your digital resume. You can even throw in the link if you want. So there's that record of the training that you've conducted. So I think that's great. And that's a good call to action, Al. I think, as many people that want to step up and do these trainings and stuff and get involved in the community, I think we're really looking for as many as possible. So that's great. All right, so you also need to submit a 3-minute video introducing yourself and showcasing your training skills. Now, it used to be 2 separate videos. They've now recently combined it into 1 video. And that's going to be a video introducing yourself for a minute, kind of giving an overview bio of you, and then the final 2 minutes is going to display kind of a screencast or showing you how you do your training. So you do like a screencast tutorial video explaining how to utilize one of the aspects of Google for education, whether that's Google Apps, Chromebooks, Chrome, Android, Play for Education, something along under the Google umbrella. And then last but not least, because this is kind of the big piece here, is you also have to submit a case study. And that's going to give you basically an overview of your implementation, how you've implemented Google in a school district, whether that's through trainings, whether that's through PD, whether that's through deployment of devices, apps, lesson plans, anything that's involving in the school that you've done in your district or other districts involving Google, you're going to incorporate in that training strategy or that case study. And all these templates are available on the google.com/edu website. So you can look at that. Now, currently, for this certified trainer, the current applications are closing on November 22nd. Every quarter, they refresh and have a new application round. Okay, and the last certification you could attain is the Certified Innovator. This is deemed kind of the highest of the highest certifications you can get. This one is one you have to apply directly to Google and you have to be accepted to. And this is where they actually have people from Google teaching this course, and they'll certify you as a Google Certified Innovator. And there's different things, you need to be an ambassador for change. I would suggest if you're going for this, you would have all 3 other certifications, level 1, level 2, and certified trainer before you even apply to this, as well as show kind of a really strong presence in Google+, Twitter, other social media out there, getting your name out there, having a lot of experience before you even begin to apply for this Certified Innovator. But this is something that Google also offers, and it is the highest level of certification. Okay, so one thing kind of as a side here, if you guys are interested in any of this stuff, level 1, level 2, or the Certified Trainer, we do offer, through Stony Brook University, Al and myself, a preparation cluster that covers all 3 of these different levels here. So Al, I think, is going to walk us through a little bit of this, and I'll take over at some point.
Yep. So so with a lot of the things that Don explained, Google is really great with giving you the materials online to kind of pace yourself and go through the information. the challenge that we see a lot of teachers having is towards the end with that case study, you know, the training kind of regimen that you have to develop, creating the training programs, utilizing the stuff or taking what you've learned and seeing how you apply it to the classroom. It's also a challenge in the beginning stages. So we really wanted to, you know, design some graduate courses around this to help teachers through this process. You know, and it's a really nice thing because we have a group of teachers. We have a number of cohorts throughout Long Island going now. I think 5 or 6 going now. And it's nice because it's 9 credits. You're done with the program within a year. And it allows you to go through the process with us as instructors, as your teacher and facilitator, as well as other students, other fellow teachers that are going through the same kind of process together. So you really can share, grow, build on each other's ideas, you know, throw things around, brainstorm, and you know, go through the process together. And there's a little, you know, I think a little deeper value to what you're doing because you're going through it with others and because it's kind of in this organized fashion. You don't have to, you know, you still can go on your own, but this is just kind of an alternate path for those who want to get graduate credits, who want to go through in a very organized way with another group of teachers. It's an option out there. Okay. So it is 3 courses. It's actually a trimester schedule that you do 3 10-week modules. You get credits from Stony Brook University. You also have access to, you know, a lot of the Stony Brook programs and software or whatnot. So it's just like you're actually becoming a Stony Brook student, but these courses are, you know, graduate courses through Stony Brook University. That's why. Okay. All right, Don, you want to just quickly go over each of the courses and what we do in them?
Sure, sure. So we really structured, there's 3 courses and there's 3 kind of certifications. So we've broken it down, you know, in conjunction with those badges there. So when you go through level 1, you're going through the modules of level 1 as Google has kind of put them out there. But in addition to that, you're having discussions about different Google tools. You're learning about other Google tools that are not necessarily part of the modules, and you're really learning about what you can use in the classroom. So Google, you know, talks about ideas, the theoretical approach. You know, they share best practices. But in addition, while we go through the level 1 materials in these courses, we actually have people start using it in their classroom, and we have them develop, you know, an idea of where you want to actually implement it into your level, whether you're a kindergarten teacher, you're a 12th grade teacher, you're a social studies teacher, a math teacher, science, it doesn't matter. You're going to look at these tools, and you're going to look at your curriculum first, and you're going to say, where is my curriculum kind of lacking? And let's see some of the tools that Google has available. Well, these tools would fit really well in my curriculum. And we talk about a lot of the ISTE standards, and we talk about the SAMR model, and we talk about a lot of these technology models and how they fit within the Google paradigm. So that's
yeah. Can I just add to that too? Right off the bat, right in the get-go, you're connected to a global community as well. Mm-hmm. You know, we've had people from Google as guest speakers in this cohort. We have a specific Google Plus community set up for Google certified trainers or people that are, you know, want to get to that level. So it's an even bigger community within, you know, the smaller community. So you're really connected right off the bat to different resources that we, you know from experience that you may not know on your own. So that's kind of an added benefit to it. So go ahead, Don. Sorry.
Without a doubt, I think that's very valuable, having that line to the global community. So so that's level 1, and then there's that exam at the end. Now, at any point, you know, we offer these courses, and the goal is to get people, you know, the certifications. Obviously, you know, we prep you, we get you, you know, passing the test is kind of something, you know, on your own that you have to get, you know, approved by Google. But, you know, some people who take these courses and they don't really care about the certifications. They just want to learn more about Google for their classroom, and that's fine too. So anyway, level 2, we talk about, you know, all the similar stuff as level 1. We kind of, you know, ramp it up to the next level. Now we're not just talking just about best practices. We're learning ways to effectively integrate the Google tools more into the classroom and kind of cover the more advanced kind of techniques. And again, there's that exam at the end of the 2nd course. And throughout all these courses, we're building towards the different components that you need for the Google Certified Trainer application. So we're building towards that case study. We're building towards that digital resume portfolio and those training portfolios. If you don't have any training experience, you're going to do trainings throughout the first, second, and third course. So you'd have some trainings to call upon. And we'll also build upon that bio and tutorial video. So you're not going to be all doing it at the last minute. If you go through this program, you'll be laying the groundwork in the earlier courses and then just finishing up and finalizing it in the final course. So that final course, you're learning the advanced uses for Google, and you're also taking the exams that are required for the certified trainer. And then you're putting the finishing touches on your case study, your digital resume and training profile, as well as your bio video and training style video.
And Don, if I could add to that, that third class is really, giving you a broader perspective on how to teach other teachers as well, how to use these Google products. And that's really the goal of that certified trainer. But like Don said, we've had people go through the program just for the value of learning Google tools. And let me also just mention too, we have these graduate courses and we develop them because of a need. By no means, are we pushing this on you, or do you have to do this? We're kind of talking to this a little bit so that you could understand how we have broken it up pedagogically, teaching teachers and showing teachers how to go through this process. You're more than welcome to do it on your own, but it is an option to do something like this, and it's a pretty powerful option that we found as we go through this process and offering this to the teachers all over New York and Long Island.
So these are the individual courses. You guys can, I'm going to link to this presentation. You guys can read through. I'm not going to go through the individual courses again, but each course has its own kind of, structure and description. And then if you guys want to learn more, we have a Google forum. If you want to learn more about, our upcoming workshops we're doing on this stuff, learn more about the Google GEG community. If you want to learn more about the workshops that we offer or the programs we offer, you can go ahead and fill out this Google form here as well. And I'll also link it into the YouTube description. So if you're watching this on demand, you'll be able to go ahead and fill that out as well.
And Don, I'd add to that too. Any questions? Don't feel obligated that you have to do something, or want to learn more, with the graduate classes or workshops you offer, whatever you want, whatever questions you have, feel free to put them in that form. We'll answer your questions. No problem whatsoever. We're all about sharing and taking what we know and turnkeying it to others, and then that comes back to us exponentially by people taking what we kind of give them and trying it in a different way. And one of the highest values Don and I have are teaching teachers how to use this stuff and being involved in the communities, because we learn just as much as hopefully our teachers are learning from us too.
Okay, great. So the other thing I wanted to mention is we do have upcoming sessions here. So we have our level 1 overview. That's on December 1st, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Level 2 is December 14th, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And the Google Certified Trainer one is January 25th, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So the links are available here. I'll also throw them in the YouTube description, so they'll be clickable for you guys. And then I believe it's just our contact information. Any questions if you guys have any? So I don't know if we had anybody viewing this live. So if you have any questions, you could always respond in the comments with questions. You could fill out that form. You could, and if you're part of the community, if not, join, and you can post questions in there, and we will be more than happy to answer them for you. Okay. All right. I guess if that's it, I just wanted to thank everybody for watching this video or participating in this Hangout on air. If you have any questions, again, please use our contact information or post in the communities.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Take care.